Welcome to Trek Retrek Live here on Geek the F Out. I'm Captain Johnny.
I'm Ensign Kayla.
And we are here to talk about all of Strange New Worlds so far.
Yep. Love these strange new worlds. They're so great. So good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our stream.
Hello to everyone. Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life. So excited to be talking about Star Trek Live for once. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is so exciting.
We are boldly going.
Yes. We are going. That is for sure. Yeah, should we say hi to who's here first?
Yes, we probably should. I'm going to adjust something here.
Okay.
So let's say hello to, yes, Brick. Let's boldly go. That's what we're going to do.
We're going. Yes.
Maybe. -1. Thanos Copter. That's it so far. That's our early folks. Yes, lots of episodes to cover.
Not as many episodes as the rest of Star Trek, though. Actually, between last Monday and today, I got through all 15 episodes twice.
Yeah.
And I still am struggling to remember some things because I was slightly multitasking getting ready for Comic-Con, but also I would just get really into them and then I wouldn't take notes, and then I was like, wait, I need to take notes, but then I would get too into them, so I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yes, lots and lots of episodes. Really excited to get into these. Yes, so what we're going to do is it's going to be similar to our regular Trek Retrek shows, where we're going to just go through all the episodes, talk about them all at once, and kind of talk about, Strange New Worlds as a whole. And then we will do some memes, some Strange New World memes, not our spoilers without context, just general Strange New World memes, which I found them. Some of them I didn't even get, but I was just like, I know that they're related. And then we'll rank the episodes, and we'll do a rapid fire ranking at the end. So just to go over everything that we're going to be doing this show. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
And do That's What They Said.
Yes, we can't do spoilers without context for 15 episodes. We'd be here for 5 hours.
Yeah. I made I made the joke to Johnny. I was like, "Oh, so do you have all of your spoilers without context ready?" And he's like, "What the fuck, no." And I was like, I got you. I got you on that one. Do we want to just get into all of them? Do we want to start with more general thoughts of Strange New Worlds in general?
Sure. Thanos. No, I have not seen this. There's no cup watch for Strange New Worlds as of yet. I have not seen any cups. I mean, I've seen cups, but not those particular cups.
But there has been chess, and there has been green hoops, which I'm wearing these green hoops that I found. I realize it's hard to see because of my headphones, but I was very excited about them when I saw them at Target.
Yes.
Yeah, no cup watch.
Nice little touch that they gave Uhura the same kind of green hoopish earrings in this.
Yes. And they changed them. They weren't always the same kind of green hoops, which I really appreciated. I thought that was cool because OG Uhura, her hoops are iconic, but I don't know. I would want to switch them up after a while. You can still have the green hoops and that'll be your signature thing, but it's fun to change it up.
Yeah, one of the episodes I noticed she still had green hoops, but there was a sunburst in the front.
I don't
I
know if I noticed
I
that.
think it was one of the recent Among the Lotus Eaters, one of the more recent episodes.
Okay.
But
Um,
yeah, yeah. General thoughts about Strange New Worlds. What do you?
I love it. I'm obsessed. I want to go back and watch all the episodes again. Probably gonna have to be post Comic Con, and just trying to just like take them in more. I mean, I like I said, I got really into them to the point where I was just watching and enjoying and not taking notes. But yeah, I'd like to get through them again. But yes, I love all the characters, the stories, the acting, these strange new worlds. I'm a really big fan of it. I'm so glad we're finally doing this after like you've been talking about it for a while, and then I've heard a lot of other people say good things. So it's nice to actually be doing this. Yeah, I fucking love it. Essentially,
It
bottom line.
is. It's from the perspective, like my perspective as a longtime fan. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an amazing show.
Yeah.
Because Discovery is very uh arc. Like every season is, every episode
Mm-hmm.
leads into the next, and it's long form storytelling, which is great,
Mm-hmm.
but that has never been
Trek.
Star Trek's bread and butter. Like DS9, a lot of people talk about Deep Space Nine like pioneering that, and not the way we see shows today, where like if
Yeah.
you can't just miss an episode, like you can't skip an episode because every episode is essential.
Mm-hmm.
DS9 did more stuff over the whole season with arcs from characters that lasted from the first season to the last season, but there were episodes in there where stuff didn't happen,
Yeah.
that you could skip because nothing essential happened. But lots of
Interesting.
shows now, like,
You have to watch.
yeah, like Game of Thrones,
Yep.
right?
Or Lost.
Yeah, uh, yeah,
And even
it's
a lot of, sorry, real quick, even a lot of like serialized shows, they still have overarching. I mean, this one does too, overarching storylines, but um, I don't know, like there's not as much of a focus on them. And then yeah, there's ones like this where there's a little bit more of a focus, but then it's also cool. So it's like not only serialized, not only are there overarching storylines, but then it also somewhat seems to focus on a character each episode to an extent. So that's really
mhm.
cool too.
Yeah, I like the for lack of a better term, the monster of the week approach, whether that
Yes.
you know monster of the week is an actual monster or an anomaly or a diplomatic situation. But there
Mm-hmm.
is, like Thanos Copter says, there is development from the characters in bits and pieces throughout the whole series. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's Trek fans since Discovery came on, a lot of, whether it's the majority of Trek fans or like most things online, a very vocal minority. We're
Mm-hmm.
asking for episodic Star Trek like the original series, like Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, everything that came before.
Yeah.
And it, everybody seems to love Strange New Worlds. Like it is doing really well. It's super popular from
Yeah.
everything I've seen. So I guess we were on
It
to
is.
something. You know how it is with anything. Everything's cyclical. So like for the longest time, the trend has been those long story arcs over the whole season.
Yeah.
Maybe this is going to start a trend where we're going to get more different kind of episodic shows coming out. But yeah,
Let's
why
hope
don't
so.
we? Do you want to start getting into specific episodes?
Yes. Give me one second. Let me pull up.
Yeah, and
Um,
like Brick says,
mhm.
we've got a little bit of both right now. With Discovery and Picard are very. I don't remember if serialized is the right word or long form where you need to watch the whole season to know what's going on,
Yeah.
and Strange New Worlds, and to an extent Lower Decks, which is a whole different animal, the animated kind of Trekkie comedy. Uh,
Hmm.
it's a good time to be a Star Trek fan with everything that's been coming out.
It really is. At least as far as I know from what I've heard, and there's just seems to be there just seems to be so much out there too. Um, yeah. Okay. So I watched. Sorry, one second. I don't know what's going on with my computer. I also just got a new computer finally, so still trying to work out the kinks. um, so yeah, I watched the clip from Discovery before, and then I watched the two Trek Star Trek shorts that what were they again?
The
Q&A.
Q&A with
And then what
Chapel
was the other?
or not Chapel, with Una and Spock.
Una and stuff. That one was so fun. I really enjoyed that one. I forgot I did do notes on them. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, I did give
I had homework.
Ensign Kayla a primer before she started Strange New Worlds. We had watched. It seemed like the right time because we just finished covering the Menagerie, which we watched it. You'll see the episodes on the Menagerie
Yeah,
coming
that'll
up.
be Thursday,
And then I sent
right?
her, yeah, the clip of Pike on Boreth from Discovery where he finds out about the accident in the training that puts him in
Yep.
the beep chair. And then I sent you the two short treks, the one with Una and Spock, and then I think the other one was like the
It's I have in my notes. I can't remember the character's name, but it's Bella from Sex Lives of College Girls. She's in it, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Bella!" I got so excited. But it's like she goes through a training exercise with Captain Pike,
yeah,
and
he's
then
like
he's like,
pretending to be a mutineer and
"Yeah." That was they were both really good. So for the Q&A one, I have a lot on the Q&A.
okay.
Which I forgot that I guess I have some. That's what they said from this that I'll need to add in. Um, my first note though is holy tits, it's Mystique.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am often forget. Like I often go, oh damn, that's Mystique from the X-Men movies. Like Rebecca,
Yep.
and it's probably a lot of it is the makeup that she had to wear in
Mm-hmm.
those movies, but she's an entirely different sort of an entirely different character in this with a similar arc about prejudice and being accepted
Yep.
for who she is. But
Exactly.
she's killing it as number one, Una Chin Riley.
Love her as Una. Big fan. I loved her right away when I saw this clip, and then just like her and Spock's, um, their banter with each
Mm-hmm.
other was super fun, and asking all the questions to each other, and yeah, I feel like it was a good kind of appetizer to the main show watching these two. Um, I'm trying to look at what else. Oh, when they mention how Pike loves horses, I was like, oh, I understood that reference, which of course comes to play in the premiere episode too, when
Mm-hmm.
he's riding on the horse. Um, and it was funny because like they kind of had chemistry, Una
Spock
and
and Una.
Spock. Yeah, which they don't have it in the rest of the series, which was interesting. Um, so yeah, it was funny because I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna have something in the show, but they didn't. And then Oh, I really liked the line. The strength of a Starfleet crew is in its diversity and differences. I would never ask a crew member to suppress or conceal their nature. And I loved that from Una. I was like, this is a great way to start this show. Like, just start off with a bang with that line, just being like, we, accept everyone. And like, this is obviously a very diverse show. And I loved that. I loved that we started off with that line. And then they're singing.
Kind of ironic coming from her too, considering everything she goes through.
Yeah. Or perfect?
Wait, yeah.
You mean?
Yeah, I guess maybe ironic is the wrong word, but considering that she's touting Starfleet and the strength of Starfleet crew being its diversity and accepting that,
I see
and
what you're
she's
saying.
not
Yes.
technically not accepted because of the genetic engineering.
Yeah, that's true. I see what you're saying with that. Yeah, exactly. It does mean a lot. And I think when we get to that episode, I just realized that now with her that, yeah, I think that's what she wants Starfleet to be, is that. And that's why she says that. So she's like, oh, if I keep saying it, maybe it'll become a thing, which hopefully I think it did. So I really like that. And then, yeah, the training with Bella, I cannot remember her name, was really good. It was interesting because I had no idea it was a test until that happened, and then Pike's demeanor just completely changed. His demeanor just completely changed, and yeah, it was funny because then I was like, ooh, I like this Pike. So it was like a cool little introduction to him and getting a little bit more into his character, because I feel like the scene from Discovery where he sees his future, that's just such a big plot point, but you also don't really get as much insight into his character except for the fact that he decides to still go through with that future, even though he knows what's going to happen to him. But yeah, I feel like, go ahead.
If you would watch all of Discovery, and that's part of the reason this show happened, because he was in a season and a half of Discovery, maybe 2 seasons of Discovery. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
He was filling in as captain of Discovery. People really loved Anson Mount as Pike and the way Pike was written and performed, like everything about him. Like,
okay. I mean, I can see why.
Yeah, and it's so a lot of people that's where the buzz for we need a Pike show. Let's get a Captain Pike show. Let's make it more like the original series. Let's make it episodic, and that's exactly what we got, and it's been phenomenal.
Yes, it's been amazing. So yeah, starting with the first episode, it's interesting because that episode and then maybe like 2 other episodes the first season, they get into it more with Pike's future. But obviously this one has a lot of callbacks to, him knowing what his future is going to entail. But I really enjoyed the first episode. I thought it was interesting that they started on Earth, and then he, showed this like very conflicted Pike where he's like, he knows his future, and now, he just, is dealing with that. I thought it was cool that we saw that more vulnerable side with him right away, and I think that also really set the tone for the show. Like, we're not just going to show these characters' strengths. Like, they're going to be flawed and they're going to be human, even if they aren't technically human. Yeah, and I thought it was really solid episode. We got the Saurian brandy, which I was very excited about. I appreciated that I knew some of the references already. Like I knew, like I didn't know Uhura was gonna be this, and I was like, oh my god, Uhura and Nurse Chapel, which spoiler alert, she's my favorite. Kind of obsessed with her.
See?
Yeah, it was funny because Johnny would always talk about her, and I was like, okay, like I see these pictures of her, but like seeing the pictures of her, yes, she's hot, but I just her character is so she's just so great. Like she's confident but not cocky. She's like one of those people that she's hot shit, but she has no idea. Like she's smart, she's beautiful, she's such a loyal friend, but she doesn't come across like she knows those things, um yeah, and I think her personality, she's kind of quirky but also not in like annoying way or anything like that. I don't know. I love her. I'm slightly obsessed with her. If you couldn't tell.
Yeah, we'll talk more about each individual character after we go through the episodes, I think.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I like how we also got the Vulcan nerve pinch right off the bat too. Um. There was also quite a few good lines in there that I want to call out that I wrote down. Like not believing you're going to die is what gets you killed. Lon says that. I thought that was really interesting. And also interesting that I think when they showed the future of Earth to, what was the planet?
I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
There's so many planets.
I have the page up somewhere.
But when they were showing the future, I'm pretty sure they showed the January 6th riots.
Oh, they absolutely did. Yeah.
Yeah.
People were talking about that when it came out. Some people liked it, some people didn't. It was
I wonder where they
fell. Trek has never shied away from that sort of thing, so
clearly
I thought it was fine. It happened, and we should be cognizant of it and not repeat our past mistakes.
Also in the intro, they said where no one has gone before instead of no man.
Yeah, they started that with Star Trek The Next Generation. When Star Trek The Next Generation came out, they switched it to no one instead of no man. It's obviously still no man in the original series, but it's been pretty much no one since Next Generation.
Okay, that's good. I was like, if they just started doing this for the show now, they're
it's been little late. While.
Okay. But yeah, I appreciated that.
The intro to this show with all those beauty shots of the Enterprise flying through space is
it's so good. I watch it every time. A lot of times, I skip through intros as we all do, but you gotta watch this one. It is really beautiful to watch, not gonna lie. They did a really good job with it, and Pike narrating it as well is really good. Which is it always? I'm guessing it's almost always the captain that probably narrates it. Yeah. Okay. I figured.
It's mostly shows that actually focus on the Enterprise, because TOS did it, Next Generation did it, this did it, Voyager DS9 didn't do it, Star Trek Enterprise didn't do it because they had an actual song with lyrics, which is a point of contention among the fandom.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's mostly the actual where no one has gone before voiceover. So far if I'm not mistaken, just been Kirk, Picard, and now Pike who have done it in the show opening.
Okay. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's the dream. I think that is the dream, Thanos.
Trying to shape my flossy.
Yeah. Pelia talks about that in a season 2 episode, but we'll get there.
Yes. So good. Okay.
From
What did you think?
from the first I mean, I love the first episode. Obviously, the biggest thing that I wrote down about it, because I knew that, you know, it's going to be hard to cover 15 episodes in however long we have to do this. It's not like
Yeah, we'll see
actual
how
Trek retrek.
Yeah.
But the Archer I thought was an interesting reference, because the Scott Bakula played Jonathan Archer, captain of the NX-01 Enterprise, the pre-Starfleet Enterprise. That was Star Trek Enterprise, so that ship is named after him. And Lon saying, other people are challenging for me. Me too,
Yes.
man. Me too, Lon.
I wrote the same thing down. I literally wrote same girl, same. Yes.
But yeah, I all in all, it's a great Star Trek episode. It's got the classic, like, being altered to, I mean, it's classic to me. It's probably new. It's probably brand new to you, because I don't think they've done this on TOS yet. You know, being altered so that they can go down and fit in on a planet that doesn't know they exist. Well,
yeah, that was know they exist. So cool. I loved that, and yeah, it was interesting to see with Spock and how it, you know, didn't quite work for him, and they had to solve that problem, and then they literally beamed the medicine into his eye. I was like, wow, they've gotten really good at this.
Yeah.
They can, or into his body, I guess. Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else from the first episode. I mean, there's a lot that obviously happens.
There's a lot. We could talk to the, you know, we talk about 1 hour episodes of the original series for an hour. So, like, we could probably talk about each of these for an hour. And I don't know. I've thought about it, but I don't know if we will eventually go back and do full Trek retrek episodes on each of these. But maybe that's something we'll do in the future. The next one is Children of the Comet.
Was an interesting one. I was like, the comet, is it a comet?
Yeah, and they leave it up in the air. I mean, it seems like the comet might be sentient, not only sentient, but also prescient. Like, it knows the future, because of the bit at the end where it had previously transmitted the schematic of the exact shape of the piece of ice that fell off.
Yeah, so even if Spock didn't interfere, you know, still would have happened. But also it seems like he was meant to interfere.
Yeah.
Obviously, with that piece. So it, you know, could go either way, but I'm guessing, yeah, it seems to know the future. A comet that knows the future. We have her singing in this episode.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was like, oh, I understand that reference. Because she sings in the original series.
I think it's funny because during that sequence, Spock looks at La'an and she's like, I'm no help. I'll break the thing. Like, Christina Chong's a singer. She just released an EP. Like,
oh my God,
she's an actual
funny.
singer. So I thought that was really funny.
Oh my God, how funny. I just realized I forgot the line, because we'll probably also do it later, but it's also just a funny line, but from the first episode that I think also says a lot about Pike's character is, he says, when he's broadcasting to the whole ship, he says, hope we didn't catch anyone with their hair wet or pants down.
Yeah.
That Pike, was so good.
I like Pike's dad humor.
Yes.
He has some.
He is everyone's daddy.
Anson Mount's facial expressions and his physical emoting in this is fantastic. Like, he's great.
He's really good. back to episode 2, though, I thought it was really cool how, I mean, they tried to explain it. I didn't really quite understand it, but how they essentially used those music notes to communicate. I thought that was very fascinating, a concept I've never even heard of before. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that concept. And then I also really liked the line from Una where she says, "What if your fate is what you make it?"
Yeah, she's pushing Pike to try to find a different way, which is interesting. The other things that I have for this is Ensign Christina is not great at her job. The other communications officer, because
yeah,
Uhura was like, I think they're hailing us. Oh, yeah, they are. Captain?
that's funny.
And
yeah, I'm surprised we don't like focus on her more at all. I guess, too many other characters already.
Yeah, she's not a main character. Same with Jenna Mitchell, the one who's sometimes at the console with Ortegas. She's just a fill-in crewman, but they have some lines and they actually have names. They talk about Uhura running away to Starfleet. Like they've said that a couple of times throughout this show. Like people running away to Starfleet. Like Starfleet's not easy. Like it's a 4-year university, and you gotta go through take class. Like I feel like the running away to Starfleet thing is weird because like it's not an easy thing to decide. Oh, I'm just gonna go to Starfleet. They don't take anybody. Like everybody on that ship went through rigorous like Starfleet
and they say
Academy
that too.
and training. Yeah, like it is the best of the best.
Especially with Uhura, they're like, you don't do this for nothing just because your parents died. So I thought that was an interesting point that they made.
And we obviously know where Uhura is going to end up. So there's a little bit of, but it is interesting to see the journey, and it's the same thing with Chapel and Spock, and like seeing how they're going to get to where they are at the beginning of the original series.
Yes, exactly. Anything else for episode 2?
Just offhand, the Shepherds were an interesting alien, and I'm wondering if their ship was like aquatic, like was it filled with water? I don't know if the lighting was just weird. There was a bit of a distortion effect over the alien's face that I was like, maybe they're an aquatic species like Mon Calamari. Maybe their ship is filled with water. I don't know. It's just something I noticed.
I have no clue. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's all. I mean, yeah, probably have more thoughts. Move on to episode 3 of season 1, Ghosts of Illyria. So we learn about Una, which
2 big reveals in this episode. Yeah,
Una, and then why am I blanking on the other one?
Mbenga's daughter, Rukia.
Yes, that's at the end of my notes.
Yeah, that's literally my only notes for this episode. Is Una is an Illyrian, and we meet Mbenga's daughter. Well, we see her at the end.
Yes, we do. Yeah, and my very first note is it's very a la The Naked Time. I think with just everyone, with what's going on with everyone on the ship. I'm trying to remember exactly. Oh my God, hi! He's from our podcast group.
Oh. Welcome to Trek. I did not recognize the name, so I was like,
yeah,
interesting name.
He's known for his tequila. It's a thing. Yeah, and it's cool that, so who finds out that she's Lyrian? Is it just Pike?
No, she tells like everybody, because she tells Mbenga and she tells Chapel. Like,
that's right.
Because she asks if they could make an antidote or something from her blood, and Mbenga's like, no, your body just burns the
That's right.
and contagion out before you even make antibodies.
Yeah. So yeah, most people do know, and it's cool that even with this kind of prejudice, essentially, that they still accept her. It sucks that it has to be that way. Like if they didn't already know her, they probably wouldn't have been as accepting of her.
And
Um,
La'an
but
was
still,
pissed.
yeah, she was pissed. But I guess so. I think, it obviously had nothing to do with who she was really. It's just more so that she was lying, keeping that from
Yeah.
her. Like, she thought they were closer, which I think if anyone was that close with someone and keeping something that big from them for that long, they would be rightfully upset. Um,
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry, I can see that, but I can also see when there's something like that that could essentially like completely change your existence if anybody were to find out about it, and you've already been keeping it from everybody you know for so long. You just don't talk about
Mm-hmm.
it, so you don't even think to tell
Yeah.
anybody about it. Maybe if Una was in a relationship with someone, she might tell them, but even then I think it might be she's just safer if she doesn't take any chances and tell anybody, no matter how much she trusts them.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just such a fine line, I guess.
Um,
Um, One sec. Okay. I think the only other, let's see, episode 3. I put weird fire ghosts
yeah.
on Illyria. Um, that CGI was a little iffy, but I thought they were kind of cool beans. And then when Una just casually carries Hemmer
Yeah.
like a fucking boss at the end, I was like, oh yeah, she's definitely not just human, because you don't
And
just throw someone over your shoulder
and
like
Chapel's
that.
reaction to that was, how the hell are you carrying him right now?
Yeah. Adrenaline. Totally.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
just that. Just that. Um yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I thought that episode was pretty good. Should we move on to Memento Mori?
Yes. Um
Go
and we
ahead.
talked the mind meld. We talked a little bit about this during Dagger of the Mind, where I was like, the mind meld like gets we don't you talk about it with outsiders. We don't use it on I've
Yep.
never used it on a human before. It changes. Um
Yeah.
I'm going to pop out and rejoin cuz my video is like 5
Oh.
seconds behind me.
Oh yeah, it
So
is.
let me remove
Is
myself
my
and come back. No, you're fine on my end.
okay. Am I fine on everyone else's end? On all the ends? Let us know in the chat. Hopefully it's fine. Fingers crossed. Anyone? Also, our names got switched. Also, I got my Spock. Everything's falling. Turtle. Very excited about that. Now we're switched. There we go. Okay. Weird. Oh, can't hear you, Peach.
I was
Anyone
muted.
knows that reference? It's
Okay, I
Finding
seem to
Nemo.
be I think I've caught up now.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
like a quarter of a second behind, but that's good. So yeah, the mind meld, like we talked about this in Dagger of the Mind when it first shows up, and like they obviously hadn't established exactly what it was yet. He's like, I haven't
Mhm.
used it on outsiders. It's a Vulcan thing, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, that becomes a very Trek trope, and we saw that in this with Spock mind melding with La'an to figure out
Yeah.
more about the Gorn.
Yes. Which is interesting that we get to see it later on too.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. Spoiler alert, but you guys wouldn't be here if you didn't know that. At least for the most part.
Yes, if you weren't already aware, spoilers abound.
Okay, let me see what else I got. Oh, I really liked the line, belief can be the difference between victory and defeat by Pike. He just always has so many good lines. Go ahead.
His reaction at the end to Ahura saying, "We're still here," Anson Mount's like, again, his emoting in that was like,
Uh-huh.
I feel Pike's relief. I know Ahura's not dead, like because I know that
Yes.
she's gonna be in future Star Trek.
Yes.
But his absolute relief and like gasp when he hears her voice is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. That was really good. Um, he also had another line. The best miracles are born from truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thinker.
Yeah.
And then real quick, Chapels. I hear it's like giving birth out your mouth, and Una's like, who says that? And she's like, me? I was
Yeah.
like, I am fully in love with you. I don't care who knows it.
It's weird because it. I'm interested to see how they get Chapel to where she is in TOS because obviously this is a very like the TOS character, especially in what we've seen so far in the Naked Time and in What Are Little Girls Made Of, like didn't talk like that. Like maybe she chilled.
No.
Maybe she chilled out when she got older.
But her flirting with Spock stayed the same.
Yeah. Um,
I was
uh,
excited that I knew that.
I'll be interested to see how they get her to like Roger Corby and ending up with him and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they kind of teased that in one of the more recent episodes where she applied for the archaeological thing. But
Mm-hmm.
actually, I think that was the most recent episode. But the other
Yes,
thing I
it
have
is.
for this is La'an cannot relax. I think she is incapable of relaxation. She just doesn't know how to do it. Which she's the security
Yes.
chief. And, like she needs to be vigilant, but like
Mm-hmm.
La'an does not take a breath.
No, and even when her and Una kind of try to do the what is it called? The like
Uh,
not the checklist, but the
Enterprise bingo.
Enterprise
That's the
bingo.
next episode. That's the very
Yeah,
next
when
episode. Yeah.
when they try to do that and they were both like, "Is this fun? Not really." And then I forget what they end up doing. She's like, "Oh, see, you are fun," and it's like work related.
I have that written down. We'll talk about it when we go to that episode.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't have anything else for this one, but
yeah.
it was
That was,
good. Like
mhm.
the the radar fight with the Gorn ship, like Pike
Mm,
saying you just turned compass into a radar, like that blind, like it was tense. That and
was
going into the
was
brown dwarf
intense.
and the black hole, like it was a good episode.
You know what else is intense?
Camping.
Yes. Y'all are welcome.
Uh,
Um, yes, I was a big fan. Should we get to Spock Amok?
yes, yes.
Muck, muck, muck.
I love in the beginning when he's fighting his human half is fighting his Vulcan half. Like that music is completely ripped from the original series. The
Oh, really?
yeah, it's from an original series uh, episode. It's fight
Huh.
music. It's rearranged and like
Okay.
re-recorded, but it's
Yeah.
totally pulled from an original series episode.
Love. I was gonna say it's probably why I liked that scene. Yeah, and it's interesting how she literally foreshadows his humanity in this season too,
Mm-hmm.
which I got that on the rewatch. um, oh, and then I said Pike's green shirt, his wrap shirt, his wraparound green shirt. I was so excited to see that.
It looks great. I think it looks better because of costuming techniques and whatnot. It looks really good. Um,
hmm
it still stands out. It's so different from the other.
Yeah. But this episode was so fun, and it wasn't only fun, but it was cool.
There were
Character and
hijinks.
relation. Yeah, there was hijinks. There was like relationship development. There was character development. You know, Spock and T'Pring seeing each other's views on life, and then trying to fix it at the same time. There was a lot of good layers to it, and then of course Nurse Chapel helping out while figuring out her feelings and everything. Yeah, it was really good. And then also Nurse Chapel casually drops that she might have dated someone, and I was like, is she bi?
Yeah, Ortega says there was that gal on
Yes.
blah blah blah, and yeah, so Chapel is apparently relationship avoidant due to trauma of some sort that we don't know about yet, and at least bi, if not pan.
Which is interesting because I forget what episode it's in, but she says, and like either ends up or marrying, but like says a guy, and I was like, wait, but I wasn't sure if maybe she was just saying that just to say that, or I don't know, maybe that was like a one-time thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it not the end of this episode? She's talking to Ortegas about she broke it off with Dever, and she said that it would have to be the right guy, and she's thinking about and talking about Spock at this point.
Yes. Okay. That makes more sense now. Okay. Yeah. Which is why she kind of pauses, and Ortegas is like, wait, what? And then she's like, never mind. delete. You didn't hear that.
Thank you. I'm glad we rock.
Yay. Hi, Pains. Welcome. Yeah, make sure y'all smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon real quick. We'll say it at the end, but just wanted to do that about halfway-ish through. We'll see how long this takes. We are on episode 5 of season 1.
You've got something to do with flight coming up that I'm supposed to remind you about.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Mbenga's hat, his fly fishing hat, was absolutely amazing. And the fact that Ortega said something and he was just like, whatever. And she was like, no, just, wear it. Who cares? And I was like, I love that. Because, we all have our weird quirks and things, but at the end of the day, who the fuck cares what anyone else is wearing or whatever. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, and then as they're going into the turbo lift, she's like, it's growing on me.
Yes. Loved that very much.
This was the episode where they're doing it Enterprise bingo, and La'an and Una were walking, and La'an gets the message that there's a unauthorized airlock opening, and she says, who's on rotation for backup? And Una's like, belay that, I'm your backup. And La'an's like, people are idiots, you're fun.
Yes. Oh my god, I love that line.
It's work.
Yeah, exactly, it's work. Oh no, you're getting delayed again.
Let me try this.
Actually, I think it was okay for a second.
It seems to be.
Oh, okay. It's okay now.
Varying, yeah.
Weird.
As long as audio's coming through and I'm audible and not weird, it's fine.
Audible.com.
Not an ad. Not sponsored.
Not an ad. Pluto, sponsor us.
The only other things I have are, I love a good body swap episode.
Yes.
And after their good cop bad cop routine with Ensign Christina and I forget the other one's name, they're like, no, not Chief Kyle. He's so mean. It's the transporter chief.
So good. Yeah, I love those little moments where it's the B storyline or whatever. They still seem to make the most out of them, and they're not just, you know, throwaway storylines or like side quests or, you know.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that they're all good and they contribute to the show in some way. They're not just like throwaway scenes, essentially.
Did you have anything else for Spock and Mock?
That's pretty much it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good solid episode all around. Should we get into Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach?
Yes, this episode is fucked.
So fucked. Which, first of all, I thought Kirk was with Patel?
Pike. Yeah, that's really my biggest question about this episode. Did Pike cheat on Patel? Are they not an official thing?
I thought they were maybe not official.
Were they
and
casual?
then they make it official this season.
Yeah,
that's how I'm interpreting it.
Polyamorous? Like, what's the deal? Like,
yeah.
I think they're probably just not an official thing at this point. Although
I think so too.
Because really, before this, she really only showed up in the pilot, right? I don't think in Strange New Worlds. I don't think she showed up in any of the previous episodes.
Correct.
So.
Yeah. So I was thinking the same thing. I was like, either they're not official or he's poly or non-monogamous in some way.
Yeah.
But this episode though is all sorts of fucked. Fucked up, like, you know, just the concept of needing a child or needing a being to keep your world going and having to sacrifice them is crazy town. Like, I don't know. I understand how she said, you know, they've tried everything and that's the only thing that works, but I'm like, maybe leave the planet.
Yeah.
Like, you have all this crazy advanced technology. Why don't you leave? I'm sure someone else would take you once you tell them you need to sacrifice a child for your planet to survive.
I mean,
I think they would be a little understanding.
People get irrational, and maybe not irrational. I don't know if irrational is the right word. From my perspective, this is just my perspective. People get irrational about their home, like
some extreme nationalism.
Yeah, and like
patriotism.
If you want to go the devil's advocate route, she brings up a fair argument that, you know, there are cultures and societies that like sit on the back of lower classes and they are not recognized, where this one has this one person who, yes, it sucks to be that kid, but he's holding the entire society up and he's recognized and almost worshipped for it. You know, if you're going at it from ethics and utilitarianism, just an argument, not saying I agree with it, just Vulcan logic perspective.
Totally.
I
just realized my mic has been backwards this entire time. I don't think it matters too much.
I don't think it matters too much.
Do I sound better?
You sound better. I thought I switched to new headphones today, and I wasn't 100% sure.
Sorry, guys. I have it in a drawer, so it's kind of below me, so I can't really see it.
It's live. Things are gonna happen.
Yes, doing it live.
So
this episode was an episode.
That's really all I have to say.
That's all I have to say.
Spoiler for when we rank it later. Like, this is the one that I was least excited to rewatch. Yeah. But the next one, the Serene Squall.
Dr. Aspen, what was her real name?
Captain Angel is fucking awesome. That is all.
Yes, I'm glad we have the same thoughts. Also, we have not discussed this with each other at all.
No.
Besides the fact that we both love Nurse Chapel and the show,
Yeah.
we have not discussed any specifics.
Captain Angel is great. I love them.
Captain Angel
They
is
are
amazing.
apparently
Oh yeah,
non-binary because even
yes.
Kurt, even now you have me fucking doing it. I said Kurt.
Sorry.
Even Pike, I almost said Spock that time. Even Pike, at the end says, "Next time we want, we'll make them walk the plank" or something when referring to Angel.
Yes,
so,
I forgot that they are they. And also we got an amazing trans actor for the role, which did not even know that until I was looking at something, and I was like, "Oh my god, amazing! Love that."
Yeah, I had no idea.
That.
I went to look up because I was like, "Who is this? This actor is awesome. This character is awesome. I love their portrayal. Who is it?" And I found it and like did research on them, and it's all fantastic. So yeah, literally the only two things I could talk about this episode for like an hour and a half, 2 hours probably. But the only things I wrote down about it is Angel is awesome. That is all. And curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Because come on, guys, like, don't judge a book by its cover. But seriously, if it is dressed like a space pirate, it's probably a space pirate. Because Dr. Aspen's outfits were not very professional and not very counselor, in my opinion.
And also the fact that when Spock goes to their quarters and they're like working out or something, and then they're in the lift together, and then they're talking about when they were clubbing. I was like, interesting. But yeah, looking back at it, it makes sense.
My question about the turbo lift scene is, why did Angel have Spock help them with a necklace that had a magnetic clasp? Like, there was no reason that Spock needed to put
I didn't even realize it had a
magnetic Angel
clasp. Well, to, like they said later on, is to use their emotions and whatnot to sway Spock. So those intimate little moments, I think, helped add up to that. Which
Angel
very,
was
very smart in that regard. Not so smart in other regards.
Yeah, without knowing that Angel was going to turn on them and is apparently dating Spock's estranged brother.
Okay, that's what I got from that too. Okay.
Angel was very preoccupied with Spock, like from the beginning. Like, spent a lot of time at his station, like talking to him in his quarters on the turbolift, etc., etc. Then obviously it becomes apparent why that is, but yeah.
Which, real quick side note, we'll probably talk about this after. It's interesting that they mention his estranged brother and then his dad. Do they go into these things in other series, or will these things pay off eventually?
Yes, they will pay off. And the sister, the secret sister that Lon talks about with the mind meld earlier in the season, that's a whole Discovery thing. But yes, you will eventually see and have payoff both for Sarek and Sybok.
Okay, I figured, but I was like, I want to know more.
It's unless they do more with them in Strange New Worlds, I hope that we see Angel again, and I imagine if we see Angel, we'll see Sybok. But unless they do more with Sarek and Sybok in Strange New Worlds, it's going to be a while. But yes, there will be payoff.
It's fine. It's whatever. Guess I'll wait.
The Elysian Kingdom, and we were ready to go to Elysian Kingdom.
Yes, because literally my only note is, oof, Dr. Aspen. The Elysian Kingdom, which Elysian is one of my favorite beers, so I got really excited about it. And then once I got into the episode, and I was like, oh, it's one of those episodes like shows will do like a musical episode or make it like a play like this one was, and I was just like, okay.
I love this fucking
I'm
episode.
okay. I'm not really into plays and musicals very much, so I was like, meh. It was still fun to see the characters in these other characters. And a
Anson
fun
Mount was fucking
storyline.
hilarious in this.
Yes. His hair was great.
I
It
was
was
because
yeah.
sorry, I
Go
love it
ahead.
because the storybook it was very Dungeons and Dragons like with the medieval fantasy, so I was just
Mhm.
digging it the whole time.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love medieval fantasy, but just yeah.
yeah, it
Lost
was
me on this one.
there. That okay, that's kind of surprising because it does now that I'm thinking about it. There's a little bit of a Lord of the Rings vibe to it. But
Sure, but once again, I just the play acting, I'm not a fan of.
yeah, but
It's just like it's so extra. That's why.
yeah, that's
I yes.
it was campy and over the top, and I loved that. But that's not your thing, and that's fine.
It's not. I still enjoyed it. It's just yeah.
And we get resolution for Rukia at the end of this episode.
And she
Um,
goes bye-bye,
yes.
essentially. But then he gets to see her as she's older, which is kind of cool that it's like even more of a resolution, but it's interesting how there doesn't seem to be anything about her after that, or am I just forgetting?
So far, no, there hasn't
Okay.
been anything. I don't know if there will be because that kind of like she's out there
Yeah.
living
Living her life.
a non corporeal life as
Yeah. Which can he visit her?
probably
Or she can visit him, I guess. It's probably easier.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting
Um,
how that just does not come up again, but is a thing for most of this first season.
yeah. I mean that's the nature of the episodic uh, thing,
That's
and
fair.
there was a little bit of that was the one part of lift us where suffering cannot reach that was interesting was the Rukia, not that the episode
Hmm.
but uh the but it kind of ended up going nowhere, the possibility of that planet having a
Yeah.
cure for Rukia, and the doctor being like I have some ideas, I'll be in touch, and
Yeah.
then 2 episodes later
This
it doesn't
happens.
matter. Yeah.
I know, I thought so too. I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna help, or the kid was gonna leave something behind. I was kind of hoping the kid would play a role in that, but nope.
I think the implication was that there's nothing that he's going to be able to do,
Yeah.
and this,
Beyond even the future of medicine, unfortunately.
yeah, this was a better option for her. Even if I mean, she is now a I don't want to say all powerful, but a advanced
Essentially.
incorporeal being. So that's the Elysian Kingdom.
Hmm.
All those who wonder.
Not all those who wander are lost.
Uh, Poor Lieutenant Duke.
Mm.
So, Ensign Kayla, be careful when it comes time for you to get promoted to lieutenant, because your life might be in danger. Just, just keep an eye
Apparently.
out.
Yeah, it was funny. They did the stereotypical, let's introduce these characters and then immediately kill them.
Yeah,
um yeah, the alien vibes of this were great. So that's the Gorn?
yes.
Okay. It's interesting how they're in another episode, but you don't see them, but they're able to fly ships.
Well,
Like I'm
those
very
were
confused how these.
adolescent Gorn. They are not.
Oh, so they start off as these creatures and then they become more sentient.
Yeah,
I mean, they're already sentient, but like
yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
On kind of talks about that. Like the ones that survive from this clutch is the one that survives is like the smartest, the most powerful,
Hmm.
etc., etc. But yeah,
Hmm.
they are a warp capable species. They don't show up in Star Trek much. They showed
Mm.
up. I think they've actually showed up in Strange New Worlds as much, if not more, than they have in other series. They showed
Hmm.
up once in the original series, which we'll see at some point. They
Okay.
show up in Enterprise, and discovery. Like that's it.
Okay.
The Gorn, it's an interesting place to go because there's despite 50 plus years of Star Trek, there's not a lot about the Gorn. I'm interested to see where they take it.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
I mean go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
The biggest thing with this episode, we lost Hammer.
I know. Him and like Ahura's interactions were so cute. I was so sad. And like obviously he wasn't in it as much as other characters, but oh yeah, I was bawling.
But I like it because it does give stakes. Like we know nothing can happen.
Mm-hmm.
We know what happens to Pike. We know what happens to Uhura. We
Yes.
know what happens to Spock, Chapel.
Yes.
Like you can't kill them off.
No.
Not that you should just Game of Thrones it and kill off characters left and right for shits and giggles. But it is nice to have stakes. Like
yes.
if they introduce a new character who we get attached to, there are stakes there, and unfortunately, Hemmer was a victim of that. But
yeah, I love steaks. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm a little hungry. And then you won't understand this. Well, you might, but I was like, Demodogs? From Stranger Things.
Now I'm thinking like
maybe
Velociraptors or
yeah. But they very much are like the Demodogs. But you wouldn't know
Things.
that.
No, I would not. Because
we'll maybe eventually get there.
Stranger Things.
He is psycho.
People with
they
plot
do.
Armor. Yep.
But it would be fun if they were just like, fuck that.
Well, we'll see.
I think the fandom would.
Yeah, there would be
boycott.
Riots.
It's not quite as insane as Star Wars, but it's, we all got our things.
I'm going to say it now because I don't want to forget it by the time we go through the rest of the episodes and get to the end. I almost wouldn't hate it if they did like a TOS reboot and took the best of the TOS episodes and remade them with in Strange New World style with like Paul Wesley and Ethan Peck and like the people who are on it right now. I wouldn't necessarily hate it, but we'll see what they do. I don't think they're gonna do that. I mean, they remake movies all the time, but I don't know have they ever remade a TV show for like episode for episode. I know they've done new interpretations, like there's more than one.
They'll do leap. Like, so I don't know with old and new shows, but I know with different countries. Like there's a lot of UK shows that the US has done, like The Office. Or there was one with the lady with the mom from Breaking Bad that was just the UK version is just so much better. The UK version of things are always so much better. But I don't know if I can think of anything that redid a show.
I think it depends. There's like a show called Being Human about a ghost, a werewolf, and a vampire who live together. I like the American version better, but it's the one I was exposed to first before I learned that there was a UK version. So it's I think a lot of it depends on what you're exposed to first, which you think is better, but I don't know.
Yeah. I would definitely be down. It's been enough time, and considering how much people love these characters, I think I think it would be a good idea. But that's also my newcomer's perspective to this. My first Trek. I really liked this episode. I liked the thriller and the horror aspect of it. It got all the good emotions. I think that's pretty much all I have for this.
The next one is A Quality of Mercy, and I give you a caveat that we haven't covered it yet, but you had to watch Balance of Terror before you watched this.
Which I did.
So.
And very similar episode.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. Like, what do you why do you know why they made it like almost the same episode?
Well, because they were showing what would happen if Pike did avoid his fate. Why they chose this for that, I couldn't say, but I think it was because, like we saw in Balance of Terror, like the Federation had not been in contact with the Romulans for something like 100 years at this point, and the previous war, when they had interactions with the Romulans, they never saw a Romulan. Like, they don't know what the Romulans look like. It's a big reveal that the Romulans look like Vulcans.
Yeah. Which I didn't understand that when everyone was like, oh my God. I was like, what? Maybe it's because the Romulans are in the Chris Pine movies, as I like to call them.
Probably. That's what I was thinking about too. I was worried about La'an and her relationship to Khan, and then I'm like, well, Khan was in one of the movies, and you've seen that, so you probably are already familiar with Khan.
That's why that sounds
Benedict
familiar.
Cumberbatch.
Isn't that Benedict?
Him. Yeah.
Come on her back. Yep. Anyways. This episode was
good comeback story.
Yes. This episode was good. I don't know, something about these what if kind of episodes, not the Marvel what if episodes, but like what if this happened? It's just like cool, it's good to see that, good for this character to see that, but overall, did we need to see that? Yeah. So it's interesting to me that they chose this as the finale.
I love that shit. I love a good what if story. I love like Loki was my jam. Loki season 1. I love that retro future aesthetic, the alternate timeline shit. Like it was right up my alley. Okay. So I dig that kind of thing. So I dug it here. Like
I like it, but it's one of those things. I don't even know how to describe it. Where I don't know. I can't put my thoughts into words. Like it's good. It was fun. I don't know. Like maybe he could have just mentioned that this happened to him, and we didn't need to see that this happened.
I hope that this is it, though. Like like that should be the end of Pike
this trope.
Trying to alter his fate. Like he's accepted it. We're done with that. That was an arc through the first season. Like this is the finale, and I think that's what it was. Like that was the end of this arc for the first season. He's accepted his fate. He's accepted that if he doesn't do that, look at how much fucking goes wrong. All those kids die anyway. Spock ends up with massive physical and mental trauma and brain damage. They end up in a war that lasts who knows how long with the Romulans. So Pike just needs to accept his fate and go through with everything, which it's just reaffirming that.
Yes. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, so the next will be the first episode of season 2, Broken Circle.
Yes.
We get this is an interesting episode. Spock and Stealing the Enterprise. Name a more iconic duo.
And we have Carol Kane, who fucking love her, and she's a Lanthanite. Is that how you say it?
Lanthanite is brand new for this series. They've never been they've never been established in Trek before. This is a Strange New Worlds creation.
Very cool.
So it's interesting that they did that. I don't know why they didn't just there is a race called Elorians from Next Generation. It's going to be a long
Mm,
time before you meet one, so by the time I talk about
okay.
this, you probably won't even remember.
Probably not.
It could have fit that. They could have made Pelia an Elorian instead of a Lanthanite, and
Uh-huh.
nothing else would have changed. But they went with this whole new species. I think because they wanted the background of, this species lived undetected on Earth for like a century or
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Crazy.
So
I know, I
it'll
think
be
even
interesting.
longer.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with the Lanthanites. I am.
Yeah. Very cool. And it was so funny how she was like, I know exactly what you're doing. Don't try to play coy with me. Um, and also interesting that they recognized her by her accent.
Camera's being
You're,
weird. I think I've
you're
caught
okay.
up now.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Well, that's Ahura. Ahura, the linguist.
Oh,
Like,
that's true. But also, I would think someone who's lived this long would try to maybe hide their distinguishing accent. But yeah, maybe that's just how good her is.
yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
Um, but yeah, I enjoyed this episode. It was funny at the beginning when Mbenga was like, "Oh, your heart rate went up when Nurse Chapel came in." I was like, "Yeah, it did."
sure did. I mean, mine would too.
Yes. And then Ahura has new green, new hoops. New green, new hoops. These lights are getting to me.
Um,
um, Go ahead.
the temporary like super soldier serum for Chapel and Mbenga is I don't know what that's
Yes.
about. It's not something from Discovery.
Okay.
And Mbenga's that he's done with Lon a couple of times. Not like when she first comes on the Enterprise in the first episode of the series, like he does this like sign and
Mhm.
she does it back.
Mhm.
We don't know what that means yet. We'll see if
Okay.
they expound upon it.
Cuz yeah, they did that at the beginning. And then yeah, was it this episode that they did that
Yeah,
again? Did you just say that? Okay.
yeah. When
Um
they first meet up with the when I think it's when Laon's drinking with the Klingons, which
mm,
that was I don't know
that
if
was
they were
interesting.
directed to act this way, but both La'an and Spock, when they're trying to act, like they're awful at it. Like the Klingon actors are nailing. They're like, yeah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, and
They're
Spock's
good.
like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it was so
But
awkward. And
that's very Spock,
I feel like it's
like trying to
probably on
be
purpose.
cool.
La'an's belch and her posturing with the Klingon felt weirdly out of
It did feel I
place,
think
but
they might have added the burp in.
I'm
It
sure they
didn't
did.
seem like
Yeah.
it came from her.
Um,
Um yeah, I agree on that on that front.
The only other thing I have is that when this first aired and I watched it, I broke the fuck down at the end with the dedication to Nichelle Nichols because I was not expecting it. Uh,
Oh,
it got
no.
me because I think she had passed between season 1 and 2, and I wasn't even thinking about
Hi,
it. But
Mega
there it was at the
J.
end, and I was like, ugh, that's rough. Mega J, welcome.
Hello. We are just finishing talking about season 2, episode 1. About to talk about season 2, episode 2.
This Ad Astra Perispero was the episode. I'm like, she can't wait like 5 years to have to watch this show. Like, because if you went
It was
through,
good.
if we do it on the way that we're covering it, it's gonna be like
10 years.
a long time before you would get
Yeah.
through production order and be able to watch Strange New Worlds. I was like,
Yeah.
we need to figure it out and do it
So
because this
good.
episode was phenomenal.
I mean, Una's just amazing. Her lawyer, what was her name?
Nira.
Nira. Ah, she was so good, and
Nira.
the just the resolution of it, and she's seeking asylum, and that kind of like loophole that they use, and the whole point that you know her whole both of their points that at one time people that looked different from you. They were, why can't I fucking think of the word now? Oppressed or
Persecuted.
Thank you. Um, like times change, and it's, time that this prejudice against Illyrians needs to change. And clearly, like, Una's done an amazing job. I loved that. I loved the overall message of the episode. And it was fun to see everyone kind of figure out ways to help her out. And yeah, it was
The
a
callback
solid
to
episode.
this is part of the reason why I had you watch Q&A, because of the callback when Spock's on the stand and he's like, yes, I did think she was hiding something. An affinity for Gilbert and Sullivan musicals.
Yes. Oh, I loved that. I was like, I know that reference. That was so good. Go ahead.
I liked Pike essentially being a Karen in the lawyer's office and being like, I can wait. Meanwhile, his oxygen is running out.
That was so funny.
Ahura
So
refusing Lan's order, like that would also be illegal evidence, Lon. Like, you just talked about trying to use that to get her case thrown out. Now you want to use it to get evidence to throw the case out. Like, you two wrongs don't make a right. And Ahura was like,
just trying to
no,
help.
She is,
Yeah.
but I liked that Ahura was outright like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, she stuck to her guns on that one, which I don't know. Yeah, it was just so good. I feel like I'm trying to remember what else happens in it besides the trial and everyone trying to help her. Was there anything else?
No, there really wasn't a B plot. It was mostly just that. There was the I liked Battelle and Spot and God damn it, Battelle and Pike's interactions.
We'll get the names right.
Yeah. Especially when they were both like in the bar or the crew lounge on Enterprise.
Yes.
And she was like, she was just talking to Pike. When did you meet Una? Da, da, da. And how long did you know she was an Illyrian, Captain Pike? I'll remind you that you're on the stand. Like, I like their relationship. Like their dynamic. Like, she could do that, but she's like, he knows she's not attacking him. She's just like, she's trying to help him
doing her job.
Yeah, and she didn't ask to be. Like she said when she arrested Una, I didn't ask for this job, Chris. Like, she didn't want to do it, but they made her.
Yeah. Hi, how's it going? Welcome in. Oh no. We are on season 2, episode 2. Yes, Ad Astra per Aspera.
Yeah.
So does that phrase come up again? I'm guessing.
No, this is.
Yes, no?
I don't think so. I think this is the first I'm really. If it does, I've forgotten about it.
It sounds so familiar to me. I don't know if I'm crazy for thinking that.
And then the only other thing I have about this episode is Pike's hug at the very end was so cute. Like, he's like when he hugs Una, he like gives her a quick, real tight hug and then backs off and kind of pats her on the shoulder when she comes back onto the ship. Like, it was adorable.
Like, love our friendship, but I'm still your captain.
Yeah. And he's really glad to have her back. Sorry, my squeaky chair. I need to get a new one.
Squeaky squeak.
But yeah, this episode was good. There were, when I watched this the first time, I think I put this in the GDL Discord in TV and film. Like, there were a lot of points in this episode where, like, I choked up with people talking about like how much they appreciate Una and the parallels to current day persecutions, whether it's trans people or other LGBT, like the allegory there. And like this,
literally anyone who isn't a straight white cis male with money.
Yeah.
Hi,
this is the
Allison.
kind of thing that Star Trek is about and has done from the
Yes.
beginning, is being a I don't know if the word is allegory, but a
Accepting?
mirror, or
Oh.
like just shining a light on our social problems through a sci-fi lens.
Yes. And I mean, I love it because, especially since I've, only seen how many episodes? 13 episodes of the original series now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You've
And
watched more episodes of Strange New
14.
Worlds than you have
Yes.
the original series at this point.
But it's great because obviously that was slightly ahead of its time in terms of those issues. Some of it, not so much. But it's great to see that actually being enacted now, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. This episode was chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. So good. Do you have anything else, or should we move on to tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow?
No, I can't think of anything else for
Okay.
episode 2. So yeah, episode 3.
Yes. I loved because once again, Stefan from Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul Wesley.
You were like,
Love
wait.
him. I mean, we saw him in the finale. But yeah, it
Yes.
was great to see him back. Him and Lon, their chemistry was amazing. So glad that happened, but also so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. And it kind of, even though his character in this universe is different and doesn't know her, I'm kind of hoping something happens in the future. Fingers crossed, we'll see. But yeah, I liked it. And also Adelaide Kane, who she was in Rain. She played the main character in Rain. I'm a big fan of her IRL. Also good to have some more queer actors. In
Who did she
this
was she
in Rain.
no, in
Oh,
this.
she's
She
the
was
she's the ends up being the bad guy.
Sarah. Yeah.
There we
She
go.
was also fun fact. I want to make sure I get my facts right here, because I think I looked this up earlier, but she was in Power Rangers.
Oh, that's cool. She's also in Grey's Anatomy right now. I don't watch that, but apparently.
Yeah, she was in Power Rangers RPM as Tanaya 7 of 15, which Power Rangers RPM is one of the higher regarded seasons of Power Rangers. It's kind of dark. For a kids show, it's about like a dystopian alternate reality future. It's a wild ride, but she's in that as a pretty cool character. I felt like I knew her from something else when I was watching. I'm like, why does she look
She's
so
been in a
familiar to me?
few things, but I loved her in Rain. I was a
I'm
big
not
fan.
familiar with that.
It was a CW show. Just another CW show. Which is interesting because, yeah, both her and Kirk were in CW shows.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say? Yes, I loved, and then the fact that she was able to see Carol Kane, Pelia, back in the past, and she wasn't an engineer. So I'm curious to see, like, is this what triggers her to be an engineer from now on?
I think that's the implication.
Okay.
Is what causes her to go into engineering.
Plants the seed.
Which you get introduced to temporal investigations at the end of this. It makes me wonder why La'an can't at least talk to Pelia about it, because she already interacted with her in the past. But yeah, that's one of the things that sucks about the timeline. Like, you might get a visit from temporal investigations,
So is
And
that like
then you can't.
the TVA of this
Yeah,
universe?
essentially, yeah. Um,
Love that.
it plays a much bigger role in later series, but yeah, like
I was
the
wondering. I was like, they must come back in other things
yeah.
for sure.
Uh,
Yeah, it was interesting to see Lon go through this oh my god, I'm blanking on this word. I think it's the same word that I blanked on before. Oh
oh,
no. This
existential.
choice existential crisis
Yeah.
essentially of like does she kill Khan or not?
Hmm.
Um yeah. So that was cool to see that it all boiled down to her. And yeah, I also really loved I just thought of this. I really loved the scene when they're changing clothes. First of all, uh brings up
Shirtless
Kirk's
Kirk.
shirtless Kirk. We got him playing chess and he's like, this is nothing compared to 3D chess or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I understood that reference. And when they were changing outfits and they wear the same thing, I was like, well, if that isn't a sign, I don't know what is. Yeah, and when she, brings up later, like, yeah, I'm not really good with people, and he's like, are you saying I'm special? I'm like, well, yeah, you're special. You're fucking Stefan from Vampire Diaries. um yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. Yeah, and how everything kind of came full circle, especially with Sarah to end up being the bad guy, which she's Adelaide is, I think, Australian,
Yeah.
considering that's a place there. And I think almost everything I guess I've only really seen her in Rain before, but she has an accent, so it was very interesting to see her without that accent. Her voice is completely different. Um, yeah, it was a good, solid episode. I don't think I have anything else really to say about it that I can think
I'm
of.
interested to see if the watch plays an important part later because they kind of focused on it there at the end a little bit.
Oh
We'll see if they
yeah.
do anything with the watch.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
And that was cool how that Pelia was still able to help them in that way with
mhm.
the watch. I liked that.
The only other thing I have for it is La'an is resistant to therapy and medicine. Like, and I don't think it's the first time that she's said she's
Hmm.
fine. She doesn't need a therapist. She doesn't want to be medicated. Um,
Which is interesting because isn't it at the end of the first season when she's like, I'm going to take some time off? I thought that's kind of what she was going to be doing, is like working on.
no, she was going to find
Oh, that's what
the
it
parents
was.
of the kid
Yes.
they found in all
Mhm.
those who wonder. Which they
Mhm.
did, I guess, because when she's on that planet, like that's why I didn't rewatch the first season before I started watching this season when it
Mhm.
started airing. So when that kid runs up and is like, "Nurse Chapel, Doctor Mbenga," I'm like, "Who the fuck is this kid? And why
Who's this kid?
do we know this kid?" Rewatching now to get ready for this, I was like, "Oh right, it was literally like 2 episodes ago, but also
Yeah.
like a year because it was between
Yeah.
seasons." Um,
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Should we move
La'an is
on?
not a fan of therapy. Apparently, yeah. We
No.
can go to Among the Lotus Eaters.
Yes,
Um,
which is kind of crazy and it's interesting. So yeah, they literally lose their memories of who they are. And it's
mhm.
very interesting that they're disoriented and then the viewers are also disoriented. Like, it's just no explanation, and then like you don't see them lose their memories. It just completely skips time, just like it skips time for these characters. I really liked how they did that. Threw me off a lot, but
Yeah,
it was cool.
like at the beginning when La'an hears the ringing and then it gets blurry and she
Hmm.
comes up and Pike's like, "We're 6 hours from where we left the shuttle." You're like, "What
Yes.
the fuck? What?"
Yes. I was like, excuse me? And then they're in the cages, which those cages were very a la season 3 cages in Lost. If you know, if you know, if you know, you know. Yeah, it was cool how they did that. A little frustrating at times. But yeah, it was a very interesting concept in how the was it not the castle, but or was it the castle? Was
Yeah,
pretty
the
much like the only place that this memory loss didn't happen.
yeah.
And then how these people that were outside of it had these totems and these ways of essentially going on with their lives with this memory loss that they had.
Yeah, they're cliff notes.
Yeah. Essentially. And it's interesting too that it also affected the Enterprise. Like, this obviously goes beyond the planet. I'm curious exactly how far it goes beyond it
I
too.
think it was, if I'm remembering correctly, I think the radiation was actually coming from the like asteroid belt around
Oh, yes.
the debris
Because
or
it was
whatnot.
because it was the one that hit the planet, and that's the center of. Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what it was. That makes sense now. That's right.
Yeah, I have poor Ortegas. She was so excited to go down to the
Yeah.
planet,
She had the
and then they
hat
make
and
her.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um, this episode kind of focused on her a little bit. She's like,
Yes.
I
I
fly the
loved
ship.
that.
I loved her
I fly.
conversation with
I'm
the
Erica
computer.
Ortegas, and I fly the ship. And she kept repeating that. Oh, so good, so good. Because I think I had seen some screenshots of that online, or maybe it was from the Star Trek accounts that I follow. And I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh, this is so empowering, and I loved that for her, and that she's the one that essentially saves the day, because even if yeah, she's awesome. Even if like Pike. This is what happens when you do two different Star Trek series at the same time. Pike like remembered, I don't think I don't really know what would happen. Like, did he have a way of ultimately communicating back up to the Enterprise, or would they have been fucked? I don't know.
I think they'd have been fucked.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
she really literally saved the day in this episode. So, and yeah, I loved that focus on her. She deserved it, and she's badass. And oh no, it's next episode. But I liked Luke, the character that they meet, and how he just kind of loves this forgetting that they do. But I really loved his line that he says, something that forgetting can't take from you is love, and its absence. And then he also talks about the pain as well. But I really enjoyed that line that, love stays with you no matter what, even if you forget everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciated that.
Yeah,
You're right there.
Luke was his name. And then the interesting that we get a little bit more about that big mission to Rigel 7, well, this planet that Zach was, or High Lord Zacharias
Yes.
was apparently left behind and not dead. So that was interesting. Pike and Batel's relationship is explored a little more in this episode.
Yes, it is. We finally have some resolution essentially with it, and they're gonna be going steady from now on. It sounds like.
I liked Una. Oh, did you do that thing you do?
She's like,
It's
you're
like,
an idiot.
I don't do that. Do I do that? You do that.
Una just telling it like it is. Just so good. So good. She's like, yeah, you're an idiot. And he's like, oh, okay, guess so. Um, yeah, and he apologizes and they, yeah, essentially get together at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have anything else. So that would bring us to
No.
charades.
Ah!
More
Oh my god,
hijinks. Apparently,
so good.
episode 5 of each season is going to be an episode with hijinks.
Yeah, because it was, yeah,
It was
Spock.
Spock Amok.
Amok.
Yeah.
Amok. 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 Oh my god, this episode. So good. So good.
You just like the kiss at the end. That's all you're excited for.
No, it's not just that. But
I'm
yes,
kidding.
I was like cheering like crazy because I knew it was coming. Like they were building up to it this entire episode. They've been building up to it this entire series, their relationship, but this episode in particular, obviously, it was just like all about them and their tension and everything. Just like so many good little details. He uses the shield to protect her, and then she's like, "Why did you do that?" And I'm just like, "Well, this is when it's gonna happen now. It better fucking happen, or else I'm be so pissed." Uh, Real quick though, Spock's mom is Jenny from the L Word.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta just throw that out there. She's clearly gotten a little bit of work done because I was like, that voice sounds so familiar. And then I was like, holy shit, it's Jenny from the L Word. So that was interesting. Is she in any of the other series?
Yeah, not
Okay.
this actress obviously, but yeah, Amanda Grayson
Oh, okay.
appears in other shows.
So not this actress.
I think I think this actress played her in Discovery.
Mm.
Let me double check here. Yeah, she played her in 8 episodes of Discovery.
Okay.
But this is her first appearance on Strange New Worlds.
Got it. But yeah, Spock being human is amazing. Love all of his emotions coming out, and he can smell things. That's really, and then he's like chomping down on the bacon. Just so good. So good.
Yeah, human teenager Spock essentially was what we were
Yes.
we were getting.
Essentially. And then he's like wearing the beanie. And within like a few minutes, his mom's like, what's going on here? Like, take off your beanie. Like, moms always fucking know. They always fucking know. But also, yeah, if someone is Vulcan and they suddenly become human, I think that would be fairly obvious.
Yeah.
A hard charade. But that was the best part about it, is they go through this whole ceremony that he is human and he does pass as a human. So it was a big fuck you to T'Pring's mom.
Or passes as a Vulcan.
Vulcan, yes, sorry.
Wow, human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, T'Pring's mom sucks.
Yeah, she can suck a big fat dick. If I was in T'Pring's shoes, I would lose my shit. Like, I've been in T'Pring's shoes. If I was still in T'Pring's shoes, I would lose my shit. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I have created great boundaries, and there is also people that are just no longer in my life that are like that. Either they're dead or they're just no longer in my life. And I'm just like, good fucking riddance. That pressure is absolutely insane. Also, being an only child from a very traditionalist family, Catholic, yes. It just, dear God, I feel for her, honestly.
T'Pring's mother is T'Prill, and her dad is Savet. And Savet was just happy to be there.
That's a G. He is amazing. He's like, I love Pike's food. This is great. T'Prill can go suck a dick.
Yeah.
Really do not like her. I obviously I was a little triggered. It's like
seems
a little
like
bit of PTSD for me.
The Krakowians were interesting. They were very customer service aliens.
Yes.
Their names are colors. No further communication is necessary.
Yeah. They
and they just cut it.
Yeah. They're interesting, and yes, the fact that, you know, Nurse Chapel went through all of this just to help out Spock. I mean, obviously we know why, and it's interesting how they even force her to say it too. They're like, you can't just be friends.
Like, come on,
just say it. We know. We all know here. I mean, if you're gonna, to Thanos's comment, if you're gonna be that fucking hard on someone and like they can never do any right, like, yeah, unfortunately there's a lot of those people in real life.
It gives an interesting context to the Naked Time when Chapel's like talking about Spock and how he would, you know, treat her, and because in the original series that just is like out of nowhere and it's like, what the fuck is going on? But this gives context to it.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And then they finally kiss. Oh my god. This is one of the few things I texted Johnny about. It was like, oh my god, it's happening. It's happening. I was literally the Michael Scott meme where he's like, it's happening. It's happening. I was so fucking excited.
All caps, multiple texts.
There's been several shows, which ironically, I think one of them was the Vampire Diaries, that this has happened to me, where it's just like been built up so much and you're like, dear God, but it's been built up in such a good way, because obviously there's a lot of, like, every show fucking does this, but it just did it in such a good way that it was perfect. It was perfect. Perfection. The fucking Michael Fassbender X-Men meme perfection. Just so good. Loved it. Love. I'm not a very, like, openly romantic human, / I'm a Capricorn, so, you know, down to earth emotions are not my forte, but love. I am a Pisces Venus, and if you know what that means. That's all I will say. Which ironically Johnny is too.
I know what that means. Yeah.
That is one of the things we bought our friendship stemmed from. It's just like, oh, you know astrology? I know astrology. We're both Pisces Venuses. Little behind the scenes there.
Yep.
A lover of loving love.
I remember you messaged me. You're like, shut the fuck up. You're not.
Yeah, I was like, just like,
actually, I am.
Yeah. I was like, first of all, a dude that knows astrology, what is this? What is?
So that,
and then real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on to your butts. She said the thing. Ortegas. She says that. Hold on to your butts.
Oh yeah.
God, you scared me there for a second. I was like, I
not in my brain at that moment.
I love when we cross fandoms like that into Jurassic Park, one of my favorite movies of all time. The first movie I saw in theaters as a baby when I was 6 months old will always have a special place in my heart. Yeah, that was great. When she said that, I was like, this is amazing. Were you going to say something?
I don't think I even caught it, to be honest. I think I missed it.
Well, probably it's just become such a thing in the cultural zeitgeist that people say it all the time now, and it's just become a thing. Which I was thinking about it. I was like, did someone say it before Samuel L. Jackson said it? And
I mean, that's Jurassic the most Park? Iconic version of it.
I think it's the most iconic. It's obviously the most iconic, but I'm very curious now if someone maybe said it before.
I'm sure the phrase was was uttered. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
in a famous
Mm-hmm.
thing, but no,
Perfected.
I was gonna say
Sorry.
I was gonna say I think that does it. That we've covered all current
We did
15
it.
episodes. Do we
We
want
did
to
it.
run through general character thoughts before we
Um,
get to that's what they said and memes?
I was about to say Kirk again. Pike, amazing. Love him because he was why do I want to say Thunderbolt?
Black Bolt
Black Bolt.
in
Yeah, but
Multiverse of
obviously
Madness.
he couldn't speak.
Yeah.
Well, no, and the fucking show that
And
tanked.
the New Mutants,
The Inhumans,
Inhumans,
right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Something like that. But he didn't talk.
Right.
So it was it was great to see him in this. His hair is fabulous. May or may not have some memes that pertain to that.
His dad humor is fantastic.
Dad humor is fantastic. He's just such a good person in the show and a good character. And also, I think coming from seeing this like Kirk's a good character in TOS and a good person, but he's also kind of a playboy. So seeing Pike just great. Obviously we love Nurse Chapel. Una's badass, Ortega's badass, Ahura's badass. Mbanga is great. I love his character arc, and I kind of wish we could see more of him too. I will say. Hopefully we will see more of him the rest of the season. Why am I blanking on other people? Did I go through everyone?
You covered all the main cast. Then there's
Hemmer, R.I.P. Yes, Kirk, but we already know how I feel about Kirk.
Well, George Kirk.
This Kirk. Oh, yes,
Mustache,
yes.
Sam Kirk.
Sam Kirk, yes. He's okay. I don't think he's very noteworthy.
T'Pring. I really like T'Pring.
Dude, her outfits are absolutely insane. Love. Big fan of them. They're amazing. Oof. They did
Battelle.
great.
I talked a little bit about Battelle. I like Battelle. I do like everybody on the show except T'Pring, but we only have to see her once.
Yes.
Yes. Pike, the
Hopefully
Boy Scout.
See her again.
The
Boy Scout.
Spock. I'm most interested to see because
I fucking forgot Spock and all of that. I think he's great. The fucking actor is amazing.
Yeah.
He's so good. And also check out his Instagram because he's shirtless and dear God help me.
I'm interested to see how they're going to get this Spock to TOS Spock because, and I think they mentioned it a little bit in Serene Squall when he was
severing his emotions.
Yeah, going through Kolinar, and Angel said, "Oh, so you haven't snipped your emotions yet," and I think that's what's going to end up happening between this and the original series. Is Spock's going to end up going through Kolinar or something else that is going to repress his human side even more?
Yes.
So, and that's going to probably have something to do with why he and Chapel aren't actually together.
I did not put 2 and 2 together. That makes so much sense. So much sense. Yes, and I'm curious if he does it because of Chapel.
I'm wondering if that might be the case too.
But then, I mean, okay, no, Mike, I take back what comment I was about to say. That I mean, because obviously, him and her are end game, so it just sucks because him and Chapel are so good. And we do see like little bits of their chemistry, him and Ahura's chemistry, especially in, what was it, episode 2 when
Yeah.
she's singing. Yeah, we see bits of it here and there, but like I'm very curious how they're eventually gonna do that, just because him and Chapel's chemistry is absolutely insane. Um, yeah, yeah, we'll just have to see. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see when he cuts off his emotions. I have no idea, but I have a feeling it has to do with Chapel, which that kind of sucks in TOS that he still has to work with her.
For her,
But you
I
know,
think she must get over it at that point because like she's
yeah.
obviously got what her relationship with Corby when they go down to which until he reveals himself to be a robot and dies. But I'm assuming what's going to happen is he's going to go through the ritual. He's going to cut off all his emotions to become the Spock we know from the original series. Chapel's probably going to leave the Enterprise for a while, go meet Corby, do all that thing, come back to the Enterprise and be okay with Spock being... Because, like, the person that... Because one of the things that Chapel said to the Krakovians was he's not the same. Like, they took away his his Vulcan half, and he's not the same person.
Yeah.
If he suppresses his human side even more, like, he's gonna be a different person. He's gonna go all in on logic and suppress emotions and whatnot, and it's gonna be the death of the Spock that Christine has feelings for. And in the naked time when she's talking about that, what she's longing for is the Spock she knew, not the Spock that's in front of her. I think that's my interpretation of it.
It probably makes it easier in a way.
Yeah, like the Spock she knows is essentially dead.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
We shall see.
So I guess that will bring us to.
Should we do That's What They Said?
That's What They Said? Yeah.
I sent it on Discord.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. So I included the clips before too. FYI for y'all. Okay, yeah, there's a lot. I'll go first.
Okay. We'll just tear through them.
Just go through it. This is your That's What They Said. On your knees, Spock.
Yes, sir.
Why the mask?
What is that?
We can keep doing this.
That's an order.
I'm going to have to ask you two to do that somewhere else.
It's super funny because in the episode it's just them kissing and it's really innocent, but it's Vulcan, so they may as well have like started banging on the table.
Yeah.
Hit it.
I hope we didn't catch anybody with their hair wet or pants down.
I'm more than capable of managing the pain you can induce.
Plotted and laid in.
Come.
Sorry, I had to include that again. You might not last as long the first time.
Down. Way down.
The choice is yours.
Growth is possible.
It's enormous.
Maximum impulse.
That's a setting on your vibrator. That's what I thought of when I wrote that down. Maintaining position.
And for the record, we're not actually touching it.
Damn it, I wish we had more time.
Whatever tweaks your freak.
I loved that one. Hey, I will do most of the work.
3-on-1.
We need to go deeper.
I'm warming to it.
Very big. Indeed.
I'm coming too.
You can come with me instead.
The last thing I tried literally blew up in my face.
I'm hitting it, Captain.
Hold the jester.
Please point that elsewhere.
Kneel before me.
I'm used to doing this on my own.
You just want to be in charge.
Follow along. Oh, my cheeks hurt. That does not count. But they hurt. That's what they said for Strange New Worlds all the way through current. All the episodes. I definitely missed a bunch because I got really into it, but you know, that's what y'all get.
It happens. So let's go to memes.
Memes.
Oh, Alara. I loved Alara on the Orville. But yes, I
did not understand this reference, but I saw it, so I had to put it in.
Hang on a second. It's missing the... Why is it doing that? I've noticed the bottom is cut off.
All it says is they're the same picture.
Yeah.
We've all seen this meme.
Alara is from the Orville. And yeah, there are some similarities between Alara and Lon. I didn't think about them, but they're definitely there. Pike's hair. We see. Do I need to explain them? Like,
yes, kind of. Sorry, I'm getting really hungry.
Pike.
His hair is flawless.
Chair with his coif.
Mm-hmm.
Me at the hair salon admiring my new haircut, and then Pike with his hair very flat from the
very a la Dwight.
Me at home the next day, sadly looking at myself in the mirror after my 12th failed attempt to get my hair to look as good as it did when my stylist did it. That's kind of what you pay them for.
Although I always wash my hair after. I'm weird like that. Oh yeah, it is cutting off the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Let me see if I can edit it.
Shoot, because yeah, I think there's more to that one.
There really isn't. It's the same thing.
Oh, there isn't?
It's just cutting off like a hair.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Captain played by Anson Mount, and we have a little child hugging
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh dear, gorgeous. And then Captain Pike played by Jeffrey Hunter and Bruce Greenwood. You fucking donkey.
Which, I mean, I've only seen Pike and TOS in the menagerie, but figured other people would understand this.
That's the only way he shows up. That's the only that, and then Pike in the Kelvin movies. You've seen those.
Oh, okay.
That's the other Pike that they're talking about.
I didn't even look up to see the actors. I was just screenshot.
I'm not running through this because I don't know how to do it. But just here it is. It's kind of like an alignment chart.
Only sexy people.
Yeah.
That is, yes. These are perfect. I'll give y'all a sec to look through them. I feel like I love how Hemmer is just perfectly in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that's good. Yes. There are a lot of hair memes. And I think I was going to mention this before, but there's one episode where his hair is just huge. I was like, I have my poof, but that poof was massive. And I was like, I thought it was going to be some kind of parody thing, but nope. The sluttiest thing a man can do is know how to cook. It's just so good. Fucking Pike.
He does like his cooking.
He does. Yeah. Which is great because I've seen this episode.
Yes.
So I understood this reference.
I like Spock's face in this. Like he's just
His eyebrows are absolutely insane. After
yeah.
seeing Spock in this one, I feel like these eyebrows are probably the most tame because I think in the movie they're definitely a little bit more pointed. Um, in the Kelvinverse movies, and yeah, these are in TOS. His eyebrows are absolutely insane. Yeah, that's from where. That's what they said.
I didn't see. I was on the wrong tab.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, this is accurate.
Yeah. Just like, oh God, I see my future and I don't like it. Yeah.
Yep. The one thing all Trek fans can agree on is Anson Mount
Clearly.
is a great Captain Pike. I mean, really,
It's
like
just so
we Pike was essentially a clean slate, right? Like we've had very little Pike in TOS and even the Kelvin movies. That Pike doesn't
Yep.
count. It's weird. But yeah, Pike is great. He is quickly becoming my second favorite. Like Jean-Luc Picard will always be my favorite captain, but Pike is quickly becoming my second favorite.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's amazing. Yep. Kirk doing Kirk things.
Kirk doing Kirk things.
Hooking up with the hottest hotties. No one is surprised. And, once again, shirtless Kirk in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Shirtless Kirk?
Back at it again. Kirk. Gotta have shirtless Kirk, or at least some kind of chest exposing. Oh, so good. Delicious.
I get it.
Finally, some good fucking sorry.
Star Trek.
Are we good?
Yeah, I can hear you. I didn't for a second. Like I like Discovery. A lot of people were not fans of Discovery and Picard season 1 and 2. I liked them fine. I don't think the hate, again, I think vocal minority and lots of people taking their entertainment entirely too seriously. I thought they were fine for what they were. They were enjoyable to watch. I didn't hate them. But yeah, Strange New Worlds is just far and away a massive
I'm really
success.
Curious what is making this the sweet spot for that. I mean, obviously it's really good, but I'm like the whole point of this is I'm a brand new Star Trek fan. So I'm very curious, like, is it writers, directors, actors? Is it just like everything? Is it kind of the perfect storm of things? Yeah, I'm very curious, like, what it took for this.
I really think it boils down to the formula. Like, I think that the serialized storylines, like the long form one story over the whole season, is fine for certain things, but it's just, and I think it, like, I just think it's not what Star Trek is about.
Yeah, fair.
I think the episodic,
also to each their own,
with a little bit of overarching plot, just like it did with season 1. We start with Pike contemplating his mortality, essentially, and trying to deal with his future, and go to him accepting it at the end. But we're not doing a deep dive into his psyche and how that affects him in every episode of the season. Like, we get bits and pieces. Otherwise, the things that happen from one episode to the next, the plot of the episodes themselves are not necessarily connected, but what happens to the characters and how it affects them stays with those characters throughout the season.
Yes.
I think that's the sweet spot for Trek.
Yeah.
I don't know what is on the TV in the last one.
It must have been. I don't know.
I don't know what he's watching.
I figured either you would know or it would. I don't know.
No.
Okay. It looks like some kind of cowboy.
It's some kind of Western.
Way to make it bigger?
No. I mean, that's...
Darn.
No, I can't.
That's okay. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Just the poof. So good. His hair is so good. Just great.
This was ridiculous.
Yes. They just keep getting crazier as I was going through the interwebs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like this one. I like Johnny Bravo.
So
I watched
yes.
Johnny Bravo.
Love Johnny Bravo. So good.
This is super accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I love the
evolution of Pike.
Charmander to
yes.
I don't know what the middle one is. I don't know what the middle one is. I think the last one's Charizard.
Yeah.
I don't know what the middle one is.
I don't know either.
And that's it.
Yeah.
What this?
So much to drink one time. I mean, you see my poof. It'll get there sometimes.
Let me see if I can.
Oh yeah. I have a feeling it's some kind of, I don't know. I figured someone would figure out. Does anyone know what this is? I know I used it as a meme, but
there it's Charmeleon is the middle evolution of Charmander. Yeah, I have no clue what this is.
You need to like Google image search it.
Like reverse image search.
Red Dwarf.
Oh, Red Dwarf. Okay. Thank you. Allison.
Someone suggested that I should watch
that. So those are your
memes. Strange New World memes.
Can I pat myself on the back a little bit? I'm really fucking stoked that I got our whole setup to work, especially with the animated background in StreamYard. That's amazing.
I'm proud of you. Everyone give Johnny mad props. He does all the editing for Track Retrack, and then all of this amazing artwork and design, whatever you want to call it, around us. Fucking kills it. I literally could not do this channel without him. I don't know how to do any of this shit, and it would take me way too long to do any of this shit. Like, I edited a 1 minute short and it took me so fucking long. Granted, a lot of it had to do with both YouTube and iMovie being stupid, but like, I give him mad props for doing all of that because he takes a lot of time with it. Especially our Track Retrack original series episodes, like, fucking kills it with that. So
thank you.
Give him all the props.
I'm surprised that it's not an obvious, because I rendered like 5 seconds of the Starfield background and turned it into a GIF, because you can use animated GIFs in StreamYard apparently. And
amazing.
It looks good to me.
I would not even know.
So
yeah.
Well,
I'm a fan.
That does it. I think that wraps her on up. Oh yeah, we need to rank everything. Yeah.
So we're just gonna quickly go through all of them. Do you have the episode names? Because I forgot.
Yes.
I just realized.
I will. I can run through them. Episode 1, Strange New Worlds.
Captain.
Hey, we're not gonna really talk about these much.
We don't have time.
So, episode 2, Children. Episode 2, Children of the Comet.
Commander.
Also Commander. Episode 3, Ghosts of Illyria.
Captain.
Also Captain. Episode 4, Memento Mori.
Commander.
Also Commander. We've got a lot of Captain and Commanders.
Yeah, there
are. Episode 5, Spock Amok.
Captain. Obviously.
Also Captain. Episode 6, Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach.
Lieutenant.
Ensign.
Yeah. That was the one blip.
Episode 7, The Serene Squall.
Captain.
Also
Woo!
Captain.
Woo!
Episode 8, The Elysian Kingdom.
Lieutenant for me.
I say Captain. I love it.
I know.
I
don't like plays.
It should probably be Commander, but I'm biased. It's a must-watch for me. It's Captain.
It should probably be a Commander for me too, but that's just my personal bias with those things.
Episode 9, All Those Who Wonder.
Captain.
Commander.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Wait, is that right, or am I wrong there?
I don't know. How are you? I think we might differ.
I think it has to be Captain, actually, because of Hemmer's passing.
I would hope so.
It was an essential moment.
It's a really good episode.
So I'll say Captain. I might have mistyped or meant to put that in a different spot.
How dare you?
Episode 10, Quality of Mercy, the season 1 finale.
I have Commander.
I have Commander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were like, I like this trope, and I'm like, I don't really like this.
I really do. I don't know if that makes it an essential episode, like a must watch. Again, if you're not familiar with our rankings, they're all watchable. Like, watch everything.
Mm-hmm.
These are just, if you have a limited amount of time to go through and watch Star Trek, Ensign is skippable. You don't have to watch it. Lieutenant, if you have the time, watch it. Commander, you should watch that episode. Captain is must watch. Like, if you're skipping anything, don't ever skip this episode.
No. Never, ever, ever.
For season 2, episode 1, Broken Circle.
Captain.
I said Commander.
Okay.
Season 2, episode 2, Ad Astra per Aspera.
Captain.
Absolutely.
You say anything
Captain.
but Captain.
No. What
the dick.
I honestly thought about breaking the ranking system for this one and giving it Admiral, but we didn't talk about that beforehand because this was like a catch up on everything. So it'll be Captain.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 3, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
I personally gave it Captain.
I also gave it Captain.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you would give it Commander.
No. Episode 4.
I'm just biased.
Season 2, episode 4, Among the Lotus Eaters.
I have Commander.
I have Lieutenant.
Okay.
I don't think there was anything that happened in this this is a very standalone episode. And
it was
because the Pike, but even the Pike Patel relationship, the problem starts in this episode and is resolved by the end of this episode. That's episodic television. So, I mean, that's just me. I gave it a Lieutenant because I just don't think it's an essential watch, but it was a good episode.
Yeah.
And then season 2, episode 5, Charades.
Captain.
Avi. Not a surprise.
Avi.
So
imagine if I said to skip that.
Yeah, right.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
We do have a summary for the next episode. So
I'm so excited.
Apparently.
FYI, we'll be at least trying to do Monday, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're tuned in. Smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon. Follow us on, all the things. Instagram, Twitter, Threads. It's all at GTFO channel. If you want to email us, it's slightly different. It's channelgtfo@gmail.com. But pretty much everything else is GTFO channel. But make sure you're following us and you'll get all the announcements there too. Real quick. Okay. Summary.
So the next episode of Strange New Worlds will be Lost in Translation.
Ooh.
This is what Memory Alpha has a summary up already. So
okay.
Don't shoot the messenger. This is what they have. It's not on tvguide.com. I'm sure it's been talked about. Anyway, Ahura seems to be the only one who can hear a strange sound. When the noise triggers terrifying hallucinations, she enlists an unlikely assistant to help her track down the source.
How did I already know it was going to be about Ahura? I mean, Lost in
don't know.
Translation.
Wow, yeah, Lost in Translation and linguistics probably makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to know what the unlikely source is. We got 3 days that no 1, 2, 3 yeah 3 days and that episode will be out. So we will endeavor to talk about it next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's it.
I think that does it. That
yeah.
wraps her on up.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks to everybody
smack
who
all the
joined us
things
in the
again.
chat.
Yeah,
yes, smack
thanks again.
everything. Like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, and
all the stuff we hate saying.
well, I hate it.
I hate it too.
Much like you say, you couldn't do this without me doing the editing stuff. I don't think I could do it without you doing all the social media stuff. Kayla is our social media maven. She does all the social media stuff. She is awesome, so give her a round of applause for all her social media management skills. Yeah, don't shake your head no. Come on.
I mean, it's okay. Thank you. I'm not good with compliments, so thank you. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, until next time, everybody.
Peace and long life.
Live long and prosper.
Bye. Bye.
Oh. I forgot I had to click twice for real this time.